I'm with Ole Andersen, the Danske chairman. After their internal report just came out this morning, Mr. Andersen, thank you so much for joining Bloomberg TV. I wanted to start with the 200 billion euros in transactions that the bank said were suspicious. Can you be more specific? What characterized these as suspicious transactions?
Well, first of all, I have to correct you that there's been a net flow through the branch of 200 billion euros. There's not been any conclusion as to what extent which part of the 200 billion euros that has been deemed suspicious. The investigations so far have investigated 6,200 customers out of a portfolio of 10,000 customers, which has been extended to 15,000 customers, just to make sure that we have all the customers under the investigation. But the 6,200 customers that has been investigated so far, they have not taken a transaction by transaction approach, because we are talking about tens of millions of transactions, but they have taken a customer by customer approach. And what we can say at this point in time is that most of the 6,200 customers, they have some suspicious activity, and they have all or will be reported shortly to the authorities as suspicious.
Estonian regulators are saying that possibly they're estimating 100 billion euros flown through and another 100 billion stayed at Danske Bank. Does this mean that there could be $100 billion worth of suspicious transactions?
I'm not going to rule out anything. I think the lead investigator today has informed that he believed that there's reason to believe that a large part of the 200 billion euros potentially can be classified as suspicious.
Many reports are saying the exact amount of the illicit funds was about 9 billion. Do you think that's a fair ballpark, or could we see it higher?
I cannot compare. I cannot make any guess about numbers.
What about the time frame? When can we see you guys put out a number in terms of these illicit funds?
Well, today we have reported on the investigation so far, and there's been made enough investigation into the portfolio. That is a portfolio we have had since we acquired the bank in 2007, so the portfolio was already there in 2007, up until the end of 2015, where the portfolio was completely closed down. But we have the investigations are far enough to make conclusions as to the extent of suspicious activity that will be reported to the authorities. And when it comes to accountability, who knew what and when, that investigation has been completed and been reported on today. So we're not planning to put out any further reports, but obviously we will report any findings for the review of the remaining approximately 8,800 customers to the relevant authorities. That will take time.
You cut your outlook, though, for 2018. Are you anticipating fines?
2015, the portfolio was completely terminated.
But are you anticipating fines?
I'm not going to speculate about potential fines or the amount of potential fines at this point in time.
Are you currently making any sort of provisions, though?
We have not made any provisions in our accounts. We have made a provision for the donation that we have decided to make, since we have decided in the board that we don't want to make profit out of suspicious activity. So therefore we've taken the gross income for the entire period, and we decided to donate that to an external independent foundation.
Why not set aside any provisions, though, in case of a fine? We saw ING was hit with a fine earlier this month.
Yeah, they were fined, but we have not received any fine yet. And
so you think it's too early for a provision?
I don't have any thing to say about potential fines or who they could come from.
Have you been in contact with any U.S. authorities?
I'm not going to comment upon which authorities we are in a dialogue with, but what I can say is that we are in a constructive dialogue with all the relevant authorities. And if authorities they want to investigate Danske Bank, we'll cooperate fully. And as you know, we are already under 2 investigations, one in Estonia, one in Denmark, and we will fully cooperate with these investigations.
Are the U.S. authorities asking for any information from you?
As I said, the two investigations from Denmark and Estonia, they are known by the public, but I'm not going to comment upon relations to or communications with other regulators.
The CEO has resigned today. He's stepping down. Will you be looking outside the bank for the new executive, given that this report highlighted the weakness of the bank's culture?
First of all, we are in a completely different place today than we were in the period 2007 and 2015. The CEO has resigned this morning, and we now need time to find the right solution for the bank. So I'm not going to comment upon if we're looking for external or internal candidates. We need time to think here. I think one of the most important decisions that a board have to make is the appointment of a CEO. So far, Thomas Borgen will continue as a CEO, and we will start a process to find his successor.
Do you have a time frame on that, or?
As fast as possible.
And it was mentioned the investigation has so far cost 200 million krona. How much in total do you think this will cost the bank?
In expenses?
Yes.
I have no idea, but as I said, the investigation in Estonia about customers and transactions will continue probably for the next 6-12 months. So there will be additional cost, but I don't have an estimate. But I think it's not a matter of the costs involved, because we have to do what we have to do. When we're mentioning the amount, it's actually just to try to underscore the seriousness and the magnitude of these investigations.
Is there a risk the dividend could be reduced or eliminated?
We have no plans in that direction.
Are customers, retail or commercial, pulling out at the moment?
Obviously, it would be wrong of me to say that this is positive for Danske Bank's image and also the way customers they look upon us. We have not seen any significant customer flight. And all of our employees, they are trying to daily to demonstrate that we are actually not the type of bank that this case unfortunately could pretend. So this is far away from the way we would like to run Danske Bank and the bank that we believe we are. I think we have to remember here that this was a bank, we acquired Sampo Bank in 2007. With Sampo Bank in Finland came this Estonian operation, and in that Estonian operation we had this portfolio of non-resident customers. So this is very, very special for our operation to have that portfolio in Estonia. Unfortunately, we have not been able to really get our hands around what was going on there. It was there already in 2007 when we acquired the bank. There were some alarms, unfortunately not acted upon, but there were alarms already then. There have been some alarms during the way, some more serious than others. And it's, of course, completely it's difficult to understand that this has been able to be ongoing for such a long period of time without anyone bringing it to the attention of senior management or the board.